Right. Hello and welcome back to Highfleet. So, most of you will have joined the channel from watching my initial series I've done on this, and given that that's the most popular thing I've posted so far, I figured, well, I might as well ride the wave a bit longer. So we're going to try it on hard mode, because there is a hard mode available. Of course, we've got additional funding from having completed the game, having had several runs. I think we get like an extra 100 grand or so now at this point. Um, we've got a few ships, nothing new, nothing new. They're all just changes to existing ones. Um, I'll start with some of the least interesting. So this basically, if you've not watched the previous series, um, basically we've got. I'm just going to go through the lineup of ships we're going to be using for this, and just go through uh, what the purpose is and exactly what we'll be doing with them. So the first ship we've got the fuel silo, if you're familiar from the last series. Basically, this ship is literally that, it's just a giant fuel silo. I've stuck extra thrusters on. Interestingly enough, because the thrusters actually increase thrust to weight ratio, it actually, for a certain amount of them, before you start hitting like diminishing returns, they actually increase your range for a few initially. So I've just dumped a lot of thrust on, but mostly the reason why I'm wanting it to have a lot of thrust is because it will go fast. If it goes fast, it can keep up with the strike fleet. So the changes I've made to the fuel silo is it's just got a bunch of thrusters now. It costs a couple grand more. I think it's like 2 grand more or something compared to last time, but loads of additional thrusters, way faster. I've put an extra couple of fuel tanks on. Um, its consumption, it was at like 440-ish. It's now at 500 tons per 1,000 kilometers, but its range is 7,500. However, it's a small price to pay for just having the additional speed here. The additional speed, as I say, your ability to perform a sudden strike on an enemy group is determined by your speed, basically. Speed and number of ships, if I'm not mistaken. So, if I'm wanting to send a strike group out to be kind of autonomous, they will need fuel. This will be able to satisfy that need whilst also not hampering their abilities to remain mobile. That's the idea, at least. Um, the next one. So we'll have a look at the wingman as well. So not much changed here. And in fact, I don't believe I even used this last time. It's a bit pricey. But the wingman, essentially, it's an electronic suite that you can just send with another group. Same idea with the fuel silo. It's a support ship. So we've got all the electronics we need. We've got a couple of jammers in there. We've got the infrared, the radar. We've got our fire control and electronics intelligence and things. Basically, I just went down the sensors tab and just added one of everything essentially, and bought the most expensive versions. Essentially, is what I've done. The new change is it has an extra couple of engines. Again, I'm trying to keep this speed stat around 300-ish kilometers. That's the goal. Hopefully, I'm gonna manage to keep with that for my strike groups. We've then got the now we're getting to the ones which have actually been changed quite a lot. So we've got the Hornet. Hornet, very much like last time, except you'll notice again, we've now got additional maneuvering thrusters along the top here, and I think that's basically it. It's still got a nice first strike capability with the missiles, or if it just needs to take out anything that's particularly heavy, but generally other than that it's still the same. Then we've got the Wasp. The Wasp is now far, far more lethal. The Wasp has been extended outwards to the side and had thrusters put on. The missiles that it carries, so its missile complement, has been reduced. It's only got 2, but it now carries 2 additional 57mm dual cannons. So rather than just 3 of these along here, we've now got 2 extras here. So we've got 5 of them. It has tremendous amounts of firepower and is absolutely terrifying. To make up for... So I needed more room for the escape pods, and obviously you can't put things above them when they're when you're wanting to use them. So they've gone here, but that means that there's a little bit of gap in the armors here, which is why I've put reinforced hull along these parts. And I will actually point that out as well. The Wasp here, so it's got reinforced hull along the top, along the sides. The Hornet has the exact same. I'm trying to use more reinforced hull parts along the outer edges. Try and hopefully shore up a bit more of the damage. Lastly, in fact not lastly, we've still got the Hellfire to go, but last of my fighters. So I felt like the role of the Bomber Bee was a little bit undistinguished last time. It is a first strike craft, and it basically just felt like a Wasp, but with bombs. Now it's significantly different. So this is now the Bomber Bee. It is now significantly different from the Wasp and performs a very specific role. So I've been messing around with bombs. Basically, while I was doing all this, it took me several hours to come up with all these designs. Most of that time was me messing around with missiles and bombs to try and figure out exactly how to use them. I've also figured out if you hold shift while you're in this ship works, you can actually place multiple of the same object. But here's my issue with bombs. I'll just demonstrate it here. Because I was considering adding a lot more bombs to the Bomber Bee. Because, well, it's the Bomber Bee. What are you going to do? And you can add them nice and simply like that, right? There's just a few issues. Obviously, you can't add them to armor. Bombs actually require a very small amount of electricity to use. Yep. So basically, you have to be able to send an electric signal to it to, I guess, trigger the release mechanism. Is all I can think as an explanation for that. So as a result, it can't be on armor, because electric signals don't travel through armor. However, then I got thinking, well, okay, can I mount them sideways to try and maximize the amount of these that I put on a spot? And I was honestly considering putting something like this, like a little arm that sticks out, like these missile pods, that would just have a bunch of bombs, much like this, just kind of stacked on top of each other. Now that works, but you've got a problem then. This takes up a lot of room, right? It takes up a lot of room, right? For every bomb, you're going to have something to attach it to, which means every bomb here is too wide. So it basically, to put a bomb in, it takes up exactly this much space. Yeah? Too wide, well, yeah, it's 2 by 2. Too wide, too tall. So it'd take up exactly that much space, which is a lot on a small fighter craft. So I got thinking, well, could I mount them like this? Now, I'll get into the problems about this, though. So, a couple of issues. One, the bombs, the game does take into account that they're the wrong way up, and if they land the wrong way up, they actually don't explode. They just bonk onto the enemies, and they just fly around with a bomb attached to the top of them from then on. And it's rather funny. Eventually, it'll just sort of fall over and blow them up, but it's highly unreliable. A second thing as well is, so while it's nice that you can do all this, you'd think, well, why don't you just flip it if you can mirror it? I checked the manual, I checked online. I don't think there's any way of just flipping it, like mirroring the bomb so that it can attach sort of like this on this side. I don't believe there is a way. So having a mass bomber plane type ship is actually completely impossible as far as I can tell. And this comes into the next issue then, that there's a problem with the release mechanisms I've found in the game. And this affects missiles as well. So if we stick, say for example, another missile on here, if I were to add another missile, wrong one, bit big, that one, this one will fire, yeah? If I press the missile fire button, this missile fires away, all the other ones along the top all fire off, lovely, lovely. Now you notice these, it's blocked by another module, and therefore cannot function. But when this one fires, this is no longer blocked, and it can fire as well. This fully functional. I've tested it, it's fine. But there's an issue. Now, if you've used missiles, you'll notice that they kind of, once you've fired them, they will go upwards, or downwards if they're pointing downwards, or to sides or whatever, but they go initially straight forward for a small amount, right? Then the target locking kicks in, right? Very important. It goes straight for a little bit, then it homes in. What will happen with the missile? You launch it from here, it goes up straight to about here, and then it starts going towards the target. You fire from here, it goes straight, not up as high, but it'll go to about here, and then it goes toward the target. When you're 3 deep, right, keeping in mind there'll be a bit more of ship around here, because I'll put more armor here and things to protect them. I'm not going to have exposed missiles on the sides. It will go up to about here and track the target, smashing into any armor there or any components here. In other words, it goes up a small amount, but it doesn't clear the ship anymore. When they're about 3, when you've got about 3 of them stacked up, basically, if I were to do that and put, say, some armor here, this one wouldn't clear the ship and would either smash into this or then home in and smash into this, trying to get to its target, right? So that's what I've discovered, and the solution, I guess, would be to not have armor there, or to raise all these up and make the ship kind of weird shaped, and I don't think that would be efficient or advisable to have exposed missiles that are jutting out at the top of the ship that go all the way to the centre, so that if you shoot the top one it just causes a giant chain reaction of explosions. Probably not advisable. So we're sticking with 2. We're just sticking with this many missiles. Each side there's a stack of 6. I've tested them, they all fire and release correctly, for the most part. I think once there might have been a misfire, but it tends to be a lot less common that you get misfires when there's only 2 stacked on top of each other. So if you're making missile ships of your own, that's a nice little tip for you there. You might use it, you might not. Next one though, like I said, the bombs. So keeping that in mind, it happens with the bombs as well. So, and I tried the bombs stacked like this, and again, like I say, the upside down ones don't explode, and the bombs actually move way quicker because there's no tracking whatsoever. They immediately start moving, depending on kind of, well, yeah, just gravity and momentum of the ship. They misfire way more when you're dropping them like this, where there's bits at the side that they can catch on. They really are meant to just be attached to the bottom of the ship like that. Not only that, when I did create one which just had loads of bombs, it is so difficult to get on top of a target and drop the bombs and accurately hit them. And the problem is, having that many bombs on the ship, it just makes you a giant tinderbox that explodes. And even with all this protection around the missiles, these still absolutely explode very easily. They are not very well protected by this. I'll just point that out as well. This is not very well protected, this ship. This will go up very easily. However, and I'll just reload it rather than deleting all that. It has its advantages. You can literally go in small ship fight. We'll try it out. I can basically just fire a missile.
The enemy has been destroyed. Missile launched. Missile away. Missile away. Missile launched. Missile destroyed.
But yeah, we can just fire missiles at basically every single ship. But it is fairly effective. In fact, that wasn't really a great example of it. But I've had a test earlier where I just used the missiles and killed about 6 ships before I even had to fire the guns. It's pretty effective. This is basically, it's a first strike vessel. It's not bad in a dogfight. I have, again, just like with the Wasp and the Hornet, it's now got an extra set of engines. But this is a first strike. If you manage to sneak up on an enemy, you can get in and just... It still has a couple of bombs, but drop the bombs, fire off all the missiles, and that should basically clear the field for you. It'll cost a couple thousand quid to do it, because obviously each missile's worth 600, but if you want to basically just throw cash at them to make them go away, you can just basically send this in and launch them. And probably cheaper than just sending in ships that might otherwise get absolutely wrecked, especially if there's a particularly nasty enemy force there, if there's maybe a, instead of it all being corvettes, if there's a frigate or something. Last one on the lineup, we have the Hellfire. The Hellfire looks different, you'll have noticed, and it's based around a new concept that I've found out about while designing the ships. So you'll notice all of these minigun turrets are blocked by the fuel silos, and we have these two in the middle to just kind of cover that blind spot if anything's directly below, right? But these 6-barreled 180 batteries, yeah, the 6-barrel 185 mils, they're not. So something interesting. If you place a hull part, right? It's it's there as normal. If you surround this by other piece of hull, so if I do this and we surround it on all sides, you notice this one's now slightly elevated, and you can do it again if we surround all those blocks on all sides by other blocks. You can notice that these ones now, basically this cross in the middle is elevated above these blocks, and the one in the very centre is 2 elevations higher, right? Now it doesn't do it with the smaller blocks, right? You can surround them with the smaller blocks, but the smaller blocks themselves can never be elevated. It has to be a large block. You can surround a large block with small blocks, but you can't, for example, surround a small block with other small blocks. It has to be these larger hull ones, or the very large hull sections like this. If you do surround them and you elevate them, so fuel tanks are already considered to be 1 elevation above, yeah? That's why they get in the way of everything. So if you put these up 1 elevation, it'll still get in the way. But by doing it like this, where it's 2 elevations above, these can now fire over. And interestingly enough, though they're considered to be above, they're not considered to be above when receiving enemy fire. And I've tested it, so enemies firing on the Hellfire from above still have to chew through all the electronic suite, all of the reinforced hull sections here, and that's another thing, all of these are reinforced now, the sides are reinforced hull. I've also attached an extra couple missiles on as well. None of them are nuclear, they're all just standard. But, you know, useful if we need, and if we do need to have nuclear ones, we can always just swap them out and refit them in the shops. But they have to chew through all of this. Granted, it does mean that I've got a lot of empty space and dead weight on the ship. I could put more guns on if I wanted in that empty space, and probably put more ammo down here if I wanted. But I don't want this to end up costing thousands upon thousands more. It's already costing quite a bit more than before. I don't want too much of a change in price. Though if we do end up having a few failed runs, then we have room to improve this, basically. We could put more guns on, more batteries up here, more ammo. However, like I say, the enemies still have to chew through all of this. I've put some extra armor along these sections because there's ammo here. But they have to chew through all of this, through all the hull, reinforced hull, to then get to the guns, which can now shoot in all directions, which are absolutely terrifying. They can even shoot over each other, over the fuel. Nothing is out of reach now from the Hellfire. And of course, one final change I've done as well. I don't like using these thrusters because they are incredibly vulnerable, seeing as, if you notice, the manoeuvring thrusters in the game don't have this bit underneath where it's like you must not have anything here for these to, in order for these to function. Not true with the manoeuvring thrusters, which means you can put armor underneath them. So the Hellfire, it's not always been brilliantly efficient with its thrust, because it, with the thrust, it just, if I put these standard thrusters, the fixed propulsion thrusters, it would have a lot more thrust, but I wouldn't be able to put all the armor plating along the bottom. But I've come up with a bit of a compromise. I've put armor along the sides and like capping the nozzle almost, just like around the nozzle, so that it's still got that thrust, but it has upped the thrust weight because it needed it given the amount of extra weight up here and all of the extra ammo and hull parts and armor. So that's what we've got. That's all of the ships, all the changes. That's how we're going to be using them. I have not tried the hard mode yet. So we'll go on Zool. I think this will just show us the end screen again, because for some reason, even though you in fact, you know what, we'll press restart, because it should, campaign will be concluded. Yeah, there we go. 89,612 bonus, because I don't want to accidentally, if you're new, I don't want to show you the ending. So But yeah, that's the previous campaign. Again, for some reason, when you finish it, it doesn't conclude the campaign, I suppose. It kind of just, it's like it's saved at the end, and it plays it through again when you start the next one. But anyway, right. So we've got the Sevastopol, which is a tanker and air superiority, or we've got this, which has, I mean, funnily enough, yeah, it's got 15 on the fighting skill there, 8 on missiles, 7 on defense. Funnily, that's a bit ridiculous. It does have some fuel carrying capabilities, but not much. And decent electronics, but yeah, it is an absolute destroyer when it comes to fighting. This thing can easily take out a couple of capital ships and just kind of shrug it off. That leaves us with 132. So we will see how much we can afford from our stock of ships here. So we can take a Hornet, a Wasp, a Bomber, and we can take a Wingman, and we can take a few, where are they? Fuel silos. And we want to put it on hard. Oh, that's just completely read on that, okay. So, Hornet, Wasp, Fuel Silo, Bomber Bee, and the Wingman. We'll probably spend, I think, the extra money on another Wasp. And that should be good to go with. Right. Oh, yep. Right. I think that's good. We've got 10 foul left. So, let's go. We will skip. Right. And I'll be skipping the tutorial. Okay. Let's have a look. So this is our map. Let's have a look at the very end when we get there. Ooh. That'll be interesting. We want 2,000 kilometers. Close enough. Right, so right. So when we get to the end, of the game, the enemy will be able to strike us from these locations on the reactor. So that's something to consider for the end game. I don't think. It's not bad. It's a bit hard to defend that. There's no bottlenecks really. Well, could keep a fleet over in Kaffa. I'm going to be terrible at pronouncing most of these. And so I assume there'll probably be a fleet from either up here or here, and then one probably from around this area, because they usually come in from like the four corners around this. If you were to think of it as like a square, they'd be at the corners. So there'll probably be one from up here. So we'll have to keep a fleet stationed at each of these. And there'll probably be one from down here. This one's pretty good. They have to come up through into here. They've got quite a trek. I would expect one probably from either here or here. And then one from either there or there. We would just have to, I think, keep a fleet station probably here, 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 here. Yeah. Basically, all the outer ones apart from this. Apart from this one, we'd probably have to keep something stationed at each. That looks like it's going to be rough, that. We're going to fuel up. It is going to... yeah. Buy the fuel. There we go. I'm never sure if it's doing it unless I hear the cash register noise, to be honest. Right. Let's get started. How are we doing with... Okay, we're picking up on something. Oh. Okay. We've got some at Haran. Northeast. Okay. Got a cargo ship going up there. Huh. Yeah, they need a fuel silo just to be able to function, really, these. Okay. There's the cargo ship. Right, there's 2 gladiators and an intrepid. I imagine that's the escort for the cargo ship. Those gladiators. Oh god, that's a missile carrier one. So that one, instead of having the 100 mils, has the 230 mil rocket launchers. The Intrepid is no issue. That's easily taken out. A Slogger, Ballistic, and Lightning, again, not really much of an issue. We'll probably use the Bomber Bee first to just get one over on the Gladiators. I think I'd be willing to put about 2 missiles in each and then pull her out. Follow up with the Hornet, then the Wasp. Right, Hornet is in.
Missile launched.
Got to really hug him to get the 100 mils to be effective. His side is exposed. There we go. Right, my right side's got a chink in the armour, so we'll try and get them on the left side. I'll just dodge these missiles, use the flares. Okay, that one needs to be dealt with immediately. He says as he fails to do so. The entire upper part of it is just wrecked. There we go. We need to move the Hornet out. It's taken a fair bit of damage. Ooh, God. What got us there then? I think fire spread to the helm, perhaps. Right. Ooh, that was a nasty hit. Worth it though. Nah, that's gonna have to be a restart. I'm not liking this. My morale's going down pretty bad. It'll be worth it though for an early cargo ship. Ah, accidentally hit myself because I was moving too quick. Come on, get him. I think we'll just use more missiles. Especially on that missile carrier one. And that should... I want to get this gladiator more than anything though. Ow. Got him. Right. That Intrepid is actually quite nimble. I will get that. Right, fuel's a bit low. Right, we'll get the Intrepid and we'll go at that. Yeah, they've destroyed one of the fuel tanks. Right, the Wasp should be able to handle... What? Jesus Christ, what the hell kind of hit was that? The Wasp just got one shot. Jesus. The hell hit the Wasp? Just give him a bloody nose. There we go. Oh, God. I think I'm just going to get a bit more practicing before I restart this, because I'm not taking the loss of a ship on the first bit. Oh God, that is nasty, that. Right, got one. Right, we'll restart there though, because we are going to have to... Right. Let me think this through then. Right, so... Ow, ow, ow. Get. Christ almighty. I might have to look at the designs of these again. I'm beginning to think maybe... I'm wondering what the difference on hard mode is. I'm wondering if the missiles have got increased damage or something. Right, that's about half of my missiles. We've opened up a very nice gap on him. I will launch a few more at that Intrepid. It's got some nasty guns on it. And I'm going to get the hell out of here before we lose the rest of our missile complement. Right. Holy crap, it practically insta-killed me. In fact, it basically has. Christ almighty, what are these missiles made of? They seem to just touch the top of my ship and kill me. Me. Crying out loud. This is getting ridiculous now. If I don't do it this time, I'm going to have to restart the campaign and just re-look at the designs of my ship, I think, at this point. These missiles are absolutely wrecking me. Oh. Yep. Dodge those, dodge those. Right, get rid of the fire. Right, let's retreat. Ow, ow, come on. Nearly. Got him. Right, okay. Intrepid. Right, I'm just going to use the missiles before they get blown up. Where is the retreat point actually? That's a good question. I don't see a retreat point. Oh, there it is, bottom left. The it's covered by the Right, let's leave. No, go. I was on the friggin'... I was on it. I was on it. And it just went, no, 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 don't count. And that was my best run yet. Jesus Christ. Right, last chance. Yeah, that's going to be an engine, probably. I'm killing that gladiator. Whatever it takes, they are absolutely going. Retreat is bottom right. Let's get the hell out of here. Now we've lost another ship. What the hell? Yeah, that's definitely... Yep. We'll just lose. There we go. Jesus Christ. Not that. Restart, yeah. 89, we got a bit of money for it, but God. I think that's going to cover it for the first episode, but God damn. I'm thinking what's hitting me there that's just doing that much damage. Jesus. I mean, again, I've not played this on hard mode yet. Right. I mean, the bomber bee, I was thinking, well, maybe it's... I think it's just getting through to the missile stacks here. It's just going up through this sort of like little gap in the arm, just getting those. They definitely seem to have increased damage. That is that's glaringly obvious. The Hornet, again, it's like a shot comes in and it just shreds everything. I'm thinking if I could better hide my fuel tanks and ammo here, maybe. Okay, how's about if I take these out? We could slot in some reinforced hull. Right. Move the generators that aren't explosive onto that reinforced hull. Then put the fuel tanks there. Perhaps that might work. then this additional armor. I guess we can put some armor just there. Just any little bits of armor that would help can go there. Maybe even like that. That might be a bit more durable. Right, we'll save that. We'll have a look at the Bomber B. See, that's already protected along the top. And getting through this, these are all reinforced sections, they're all reinforced hull. So I struggle to see how. Well, you know what we can do, at the very least? What I could do is just put reinforced hull in those parts there, at the very least. So if anything does come in from these directions to hit the citadel here, it has to chew through at least a little bit extra. Perhaps I can do the same with the bottom as well here. Yeah, just... weld everything back on. Right, that should make it a bit more survivable, but again, it's not going to be unkillable. Let's have a look at the Hornet. Could I do a similar thing with that? I could. In fact, there's quite a bit I could probably replace with a reinforced hull. Actually, we'll not move those, we'll just try and grab the hull underneath. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Right. Should be a mildly better. It won't be perfect. But it should be that little bit tougher. Right. And we'll try the Wasp. Okay, and I definitely want to get some armor along the top here, and yeah, right, okay. Yeah, that's on reinforced, so I don't know why I didn't put the vest on reinforced. I mean, I suppose it isn't efficient with the weight. It really is pretty bad to be putting this much additional weight onto the thing. Right. And lastly, the corner piece. In fact, I do wonder if I, for example, use a full block here, I put this on. Can I attach this in the... No, I can't. Ah. Wishful thinking. Right. I really need... I might just have to attach something that juts out a bit here, but it's fair enough. I could really use these being somewhere else. These evacuation pods. Because I do need armour on this section. Damn it. There, and there. Okay. Now the question is where we put these. Do they actually need to be... Yeah, they need to be on hull. We need nothing above them. Right. I've already got some on the sides. Tell you what, we will put actual box ones there. And we'll stick a small... Where is it? That one will do. It's fine. It'll work. Right. Bit of armour. And, you know, it would probably help if these were attached. Just check, is everything attached? Yep, okay. I think the issue that I'm having is literally if bullets get into this citadel, it's just, you know, ammo, fuel. I mean, it's protected by armour, but yeah, they go up very quickly. We'll try that. But I think we're going to have to try it in the next episode. Apologies, it's been mostly in the shipworks. We'll get another one started. So we'll go in. We'll have less money for fuel now. I bet that'll set me back a bit. So, Hellfire. We've got a wingman. We've got a... Where are we? Wasp. A fuel silo. Bomberbee. Where is it? Where's the Hornet? There. Hornet Bee, Wasp, Wingman, Hellfire, 2 fuel silos. And I forget that it does that. Right. Wasp, Hornet, Bee, Wingman, Hellfire. Begin. Skip. Start. And resupply. Right, and heading northwest to here. Okay, we can refuel for a little bit, and we can send. So sudden strike probability. Hornet, Wasp, fuel silo, 66%. So it is actually pretty good chance of getting a sudden strike with this group. It's like a bit over 50-50, you know, it's not bad. We'll wait a little bit longer just so I've got time to get there. And then we'll set off. I bet they're probably around here-ish now, maybe.
Attention, new target on the radar.
Yeah, we've detected an enemy. There is... Ah, yeah, there's a gladiator there and some Nimrods. So we've got a frigate and 2 corvettes. We'll have this battle and I think we'll call it there. We'll hopefully these hopefully these ships are enough. There's a gladiator. Let's get some missiles fired at that thing. Ooh.
Structural damage received.
And we need to move. That's not something I want to be in front of. Yeah, I think we had a misfire then from the missile system. It does occasionally happen. Those proc shots are destroying our missiles. We'll send out flares there. Right, I'm going to pull this ship out. It's taking a lot of damage. Want to get around the right side of this ship. Use our engine boost to avoid that. And while we're there, we can just fire a missile off into that. See if we can hammer this a little bit before we move. Yeah, there's that gap in his armour. Then we can use this one as cover from the incoming missiles. There we go. Right. There goes his active protection system. Gladiators do have those. And there goes his bridge. Right. Let's see what that's going to cost us. Not great. We did decently, but we took a fair few knocks. We will be ignoring their advice and just going... Yeah, we'll be dismantling this. Right. What do we want to land? Oh god, that can't land at all. This hasn't taken too much of a knock. We've lost a bit of armour there. That can't land. It's lost its landing gear. It annoys me that the the ones that you want to repair the most are usually the ones with everything ripped off of them, landing gear included, so that you can't land them. A crowd rush from the city as soon as to your ships as soon as you arrive. An elderly Doyen in the lead. Tells about a military convoy that left the city just the other day. The leader of the escort. Yeah, this is the one where they've taken hostages, isn't it? Right. We can keep the stolen riches if we just save and return the hostages. The Doyen tells you that the villains were headed southeast. The escort's call sign was Crow. So, southeast, from here, call sign Crow. It's too bad we missed that convoy this time. So we can get most of it put back together. It will take forever. Jesus Christ. And it's lost all of its first strike capabilities. The Hornet, this probably won't cost as much. Really? Just for that? Good lord. I think I'm getting ripped off. Right. We probably want to hit Barham and then a cat. Get the missiles here and a nice save and get some information on strike groups. But that will be it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.